At it again, and we got to talk about this gentleman here who apparently has broken the matrix. He woke himself up out of the brainwashing of the left. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be checking out today. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
Well, I woke up. Like, officially woke up. I've been thinking that I was, awake and seeing the world for what it really was for a long time.
Congrats for waking up.
I'll occasionally be the person online that'll be like, you know what? Like, wake up. Like, see what's actually happening in this world. And I had no idea. I legitimately had no idea. And it all started with me kind of coming to the realization that 50% of this country has a completely different way of viewing the world than me. And I've always kind of had this idea that it was because they were being lied to, or they were being manipulated, or they were evil, or they were stupid. That's the reason why they're able to vote for the person that they're voting for in spite of all of the really scary things that are happening in the world. And I realized that it cannot be true. It cannot be true that every single one of these people falls into one of those categories. And maybe they're voting for the person that they're voting for with all of those dangers or the scary things, either because A, they don't see them, or because the things that they see on my side are scarier to them than the things that are happening on theirs. And that really made me start to question, because I'm personally not really I haven't been afraid of much from my political party. And I was like, what are they seeing? And so I really made it a mission of mine to at least, I wasn't going to agree with what they were seeing, but I wanted to understand it. And so I kind of went out on this mission to try to start understanding what they were seeing that was so scary to them, or something that was caused such a substantial aversion that they were willing to vote for someone that I deemed to be evil. And I started by kind of dipping my toe in the pool by listening to, it's kind of like a documentary. And it was a very simple idea, asking a very simple question, and people were not able to answer. They were not able to answer a very simple question, something that should be easy to answer if you're willing to formulate a worldview around it. And I'm looking at these people as like, I mean, you're either at a rally or you're a specialist in the.
It's funny that he said that, because I've had the same exact experience. You guys have witnessed it. I've documented the entire process from beginning till now. For those of you that are new, I used to be a leftist, 100%. Now, I wasn't like a raving leftist and out here, marching in the streets and whatnot. But, I just had the mindset that I was just Democrat. That's just the way it was supposed to be, right? Don't like Republicans, hate Donald Trump. And then I had a moment where I asked myself, why do you actually hate Donald Trump? And I couldn't genuinely answer that question. Of course, I could have made up something. Oh, he's a racist and blah, blah, blah. But I couldn't say that with confidence or any evidence to back it up. And that bothered me. Genuinely, it did. Obviously, look where I am today. Obviously, of course, we can laugh about it today. But all seriousness, so I started looking into him. Who is this guy Trump? Who is he really? What was he all about? What did he say? Let me check out his interviews. Let me check out some of these rally videos, where there's apparently all these white supremacists and racists. I want to see what's going on. Let me look. Let me take a look. And then, of course, the truth started to reveal itself. And then, of course, I started watching debates and interactions between, the left and the right. And I was honest. I told you guys in videos, you can probably go back and watch them. Well, I know you can go back and watch them because they're still up. I was waiting for the leftist or the Democrat to just answer the question. Just answer it. Just refute whatever the Republican is saying. Just refute it. Prove them wrong. Show me something. Show me that I was right. Show me I was right. And time again, they couldn't. They didn't. They yelled, called names, and stormed off. And that's when I came up with when the facts come out, they run line. Because every time a Republican came out with some facts, the Democrat ran away. Ran away. And that's when I realized, oh, I've been lied to this entire time. And I did not see it. But I think part of that was because I never asked a question. Right? I never asked any questions. But the moment I started asking questions, that's when all of the smoke screens started to clear out. Right? Now I see everything clearly. Now I see everything clearly. So it's interesting that he had made that comment, because I went through something very, very similar. But let's continue.
Field. Why are you not able to answer these simple questions? And it really started to make me think, what if there's more to this than I thought? And so I talked to a friend of mine who is someone on the opposite side of the political party who recommended a book to me. And this friend of mine is someone that I really don't agree with, but I still respect as a person. Someone that we can still, as long as we don't talk politics, we can still hang out and have a really good time. And I trust that they would never do something to actively hurt me. And they recommended this book to me, and I ordered it. I started to read it, and I literally got maybe a paragraph in, and I shut it. I was like, I can't read this. This is the worst. This is an evil person saying evil things, and I felt personally attacked by this book. And I closed it, and I was like, why can't I read this? I tried to open it back up, and I just couldn't. There was like a mental block. I could not read it. And I started thinking to myself, why can't I? And so little bits at a time, sometimes a paragraph, sometimes a page, I forced myself to read this book. And as I went through it, I've been, told in my head that this is an evil person, pushing an evil agenda. And as I read it, I was like, this is not an evil person. This is someone that's speaking with compassion. Someone that is trying to actively warn people that they don't even agree with, that have a completely different worldview of true dangers within the ideology that they have, their political affiliation. And it was really, really hard. I cannot stress how hard it was for me to get through this book. Every fiber of my being fought against it. And, I usually read a novel in, a couple weeks. I read a lot. And this book took me months to get through. And it was for that very reason. I was like, I'm already so emotionally stressed out and physically uncomfortable all the time that I couldn't, in my free time, make myself feel that voluntarily. But I was on this mission to understand, to figure out why we're moving in such different directions and why we can't talk to each other anymore. And as I got through this book, my worldview just started getting holes poked in it. And I started kind of looking at things from a different perspective, seeing things that I didn't really even know were occurring, threats to our society that I didn't know were there. And it was really, really hard. I was so confident that I'm on the right side of history, looking over at other people and being like, how are you doing what you're doing? And I was at that moment, I started entertaining the idea of, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? And so I fought and I started listening to people that I had deemed evil. People that I said, this person over there is one of the reasons why this country is going to shit, because they're lying to us, they're actively manipulating people, or they're just flat out intolerant or evil or whatever. And while I think some of those things are true, because I've seen the videos and the content of them being those things. But as I listened more and more and forced myself to listen, I realized that there was more to it, that not everything that they were saying was evil. And as I began listening and opening my mind to the possibility that I might be wrong, that was when it really changed for me. I started actually seeing wholesome content. I started seeing, people speaking with compassion and just what is this country becoming? And how are we gonna let it happen? And when are we gonna say enough is enough? And it started to tear down my entire world, the way that I saw everything. And while my personal beliefs didn't change that much, the way that I saw the world and the dangers that I saw substantially changed. And not only was I looking at a boogeyman in front of me who had captured my attention for a long time, I started looking behind me to the people that I've been defending and saying, holy crap, you have gone insane. You've gone insane. And like, I didn't personally feel like I've become a radical person, but I realized that I've been supporting radical ideas and radical people.
Yep.
And
Same.
just flat out ignoring the dangers that the most extreme parts of my political party were posing on society. And when I'm thinking to myself, what do they see over there that scares them so much that they're still willing to vote for the person that they're willing to vote for? It's because they saw that. And I haven't been looking. Or I haven't been willing to open my mind to the possibility. Or I'm thinking to myself, you know what, that's a small thing in comparison to what I see over there, because that boogeyman is still real. And my entire world has been crumbling over the last couple days. And there was a kind of a shift for me where I was really, really having a hard time listening to people that I didn't agree with. And then it became this like hunger for knowledge, because I started detaching myself from that narrative, having to be in that group.
You know, I find that funny because I felt the same way a little bit. You know, I at first it was a little bit tough to, you know, hear some of the things that I was hearing because I had believed this other thing for so long. Now, granted, I wasn't like a radical person, so I was still able to listen. Obviously, you guys watched the whole thing. But then, like, all of a sudden, it just clicked. I was like, bro, just give them a chance. Give them a chance. Hear them out. Let the left prove Republicans wrong. Just let them do it. Just let it play out. And, yeah, obviously we got to hear him. Obviously, you know, you guys know. Now, so safe to say that Democrats didn't prove anything that the Republicans were saying wrong the entire time. So, yeah, I could definitely relate to what he was saying there a little bit.
Because there's camaraderie in that, and there's so much stress and anger and hatred in the world that finding a group that I can be a part of was really appealing. And as soon as I kind of separated myself from that and started, you know, actually looking at things objectively, I started consuming the other side, you know, their vlogs and YouTube videos and news articles, and figuring out how do they see these news events that I've seen, because, you know, I lived through them. I feel like I know exactly what happened, but they feel the same way, and it's a different reality. So of course the reality that they live in is different than mine. They're going to feel differently than me. And a lot of that has to do with the blame of the news and our politicians and just flat out deceiving us. And so, like,
Facts.
The last couple of days, I've felt alone. I feel like I can't talk to anyone. I've tried to talk to some of my family and friends about it, and most people just shut me down or say I'm going over to the dark side. And it's like, all I'm doing is trying to acknowledge some dangers within my own political party. You know, that doesn't mean that I'm going to jump over and vote for the person that I've deemed evil, because I still believe that. I'm just also recognizing dangers behind me as well. So I really don't know. I'm so confused. And I'm really, really going to try to continue to learn and to figure out, because I'm sure the truth is in the middle. You know, just, they're over there lying to them. I just need to assume that they're lying to me too. And I need to figure out what the truth is. And I don't know how I'm going to do that, other than maybe just listening to both sides and trying to figure out what's in the middle. You know, because I don't really see unbiased people out there. We don't want to hear unbiased stuff. We want to hear stuff that fits the narrative and the worldview that we have, because it's easier. So I'm just going to post as I explore this, because it's unreal to me, but I also feel free. I can now watch stuff from the left or stuff from the right without feeling personally attacked, because I am no longer considering myself to be a part of that.
Congrats.
And what does that look like? Because these trains have been diverging for a very long time, and I just decided I want to get off. I don't want to be on this train anymore. And I'm just going to start kind of looking around for other people that have gotten off the train too. And
right here,
maybe we can start figuring out how the hell we're going to...
Right here, brother. Right here. Right here. What was his name? Let me make sure I give a prop. Jaded with J. Jaded with J. You can see his username right there at the bottom there. Here, I'll blow it up let me see. Make it bigger so you guys can kind of see that a little bit better. Hold on. Let's stretch that out. You kind of see it a little bit easier there. It ain't perfect, but Jaded with Jay. Okay. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Jay. Let me tell you something, brother. I was in your same exact position. In your same exact position. And I've recorded, like I said earlier, I've recorded the entire process from beginning till now. Right? Where I thought this one thing and I just went down a journey of discovering the truth. What is the truth? And let me tell you something, Jay. What I discovered the truth is that Trump isn't as bad as what people make him seem. He isn't. Now, is he a little rough around the edges? Sure. But a lot of people are. One thing that I discovered about Trump is Trump simply says in public what a lot of people say in private. You know, he's not any worse than anybody else. He just says it out loud what people say in private. As a matter of fact, I personally respect that more than somebody who would rather say it in private. Like, I would rather have someone speak loud and proud. So that's one of the big things that I discovered on this journey is that he's not who they make him seem. Neither are Republicans. I also learned that there are very few true Republicans, right? There aren't very many real Republicans that, you know, have been elected to office. A lot of folks like Mitch McConnell don't consider a real Republican, right? Folks like Byron Donalds, I would consider a real Republican, a true Republican, someone that truly cares about this country and this nation and you know, wants the best, right? For everyone. You know, because for a long time, like I said, I didn't like Republicans and I hated Trump and I could not tell you why. I just was told to not like Republicans and to hate Trump. And so I did, you know? So, Jay, man, I can feel where you're coming from for sure. 100%, 100%. Cause I was there. And now I'm probably one of Trump's biggest supporters. One of Trump's biggest supporters, you know, and there's a lot of reasons for that. A whole lot of reasons. Maybe I'll make a video on all of the reasons why I support. I feel like that actually would be a good video idea. I haven't done that yet. Maybe I'll make that video. All of the reasons why I support Donald Trump. I feel like that'd be a great video. I may make that one. Yeah. Put that on the agenda. Start putting that one together. Because there's a lot of reasons. A whole lot of reasons. Right? I remember the clip that I showed you guys maybe a week ago. There was a gentleman who was getting interviewed by like MSNBC or something. And she was like, you know, Trump's 3-time divorced and, you know, hateful this, hateful that, impeach this, impeach that. You know, like she was trying to make him sound like stack up all this stuff and make him sound really terrible. And she was like, why do you support that guy? Or something along those lines. And he said, I watched him walk out on stage and hug the American flag. That meant a lot to me. How many people have you seen come out and hug the flag? You know? And that's one of the reasons, right? I believe Trump is a true patriot. He is someone who truly cares about this country. People could say, oh, well, he's a billionaire. He doesn't care about you guys. Well, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they're all multi-millionaires. They've got buku bucks. Nancy Pelosi's worth like $200 million. Like there becomes a certain level of money where it's just like, you know, don't really matter. So like, just because he's a billionaire, like what? He all of a sudden just doesn't care. But Nancy Pelosi does, you know, like that one doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There was something else that I was going to say and I just lost it. Oh, crap. There was something. What else was I going to say? There was something else. Oh, case in point. Trump is one of the only presidents to have lost net worth from before he was in office. Trump's net worth went down. Look at all the other presidents' net worths. You know? And, I'm not going to make this video now. See, I was about to start listing out all the reasons. Like, I started getting on my soapbox there for a second. But I will make a separate video on all of the reasons why I truly support Donald Trump. And, man, I feel like that's going to be a real good video right there. That's going to be a fantastic video. I'm actually pretty excited about that one. So, anyway, Jay, happy for you, right? Very, very happy for you. Happy to hear that you have woken up and realized the truth, that they've been lying to us all this entire time. You're not alone, Jay. You're not alone. I got the same response from some friends, some family, right? But you got to keep at it. Keep at it. They'll discover the truth. Trust me. I know. I've had the same conversations. All right. But as always, y'all let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section below. Shout out to Jay, sending him love and support on his journey for, discovering the truth. And yeah, man, that's amazing. Amazing to see in here. I love it. Peace and love. I'm out.